before we talk about the crackpot, a couple of crackpots, Ross Gerber, Bill Still. Now, notice the last names. Folks, it seems to be inevitable. I'm not like picking people out. Seems to be all the disreputable scammers, bullshit artists seem to have a common thread. Something you might want to take note of. If you don't observe things, if you're not an observant person, you're going to miss a lot on life. You're never going to be good at anything. I can tell you that right now. So what I'm going to do before I talk about these two guys, I'm going to finish up a little bit with Tom Nash. You all remember this, of course. Tom is constantly changing the titles of his videos. He's splicing portions out. He's hiding other videos. Of course, he's here to remove this video when I exposed him, when he talks about how nobody talks about PE ratio.
Go and find somebody who's ever worked in the financial industry.
That's me.
An analyst,
That's me.
somebody who
That's
worked
me.
on the trading floor, anybody with actual trading or investing experience. Anybody from Wall Street that you can get a hold of.
That's me.
And ask them, how do you know that somebody's a clown, a buffoon, and is a fake? If they mention PE, this is exactly what it is. If somebody mentions to you PE, that means they've never worked a day in their life on Wall Street or in any sort of investment capacity. Because
there you go, folks. I mean, this is like the most ridiculous statement that's possible to be made. This guy's a fraud. And I want you to, and this is, folks, this is what I'm talking about. People, how many people that follow this fucking fraud, scammer, idiot, liar, piece of trash, parasite, how many people that follow him do you think know this? They don't know. That's why you all have to make an archive. You got to make a website and post all this shit where it can't be taken down. Okay? People need to see the history of these motherfuckers. One thing I want you to notice, I've talked about this before. This may not seem like a big deal, but it points to the dishonesty and the manipulatory nature of this scumbag. And that is, I mentioned in his older videos, he always has a picture of Putin in the background. You see that picture there? Because, you know, the whole idea is part of this. Oh, I'm a Russian. No, you're not a Russian. You're from Israel. You're not living in Russia. Okay, but that's his whole thing is like, you know, oh, I'm a Russian guy, you know. If you remember, he made this video back in early 2022. And the video was, he's the smartest guy in the room. He knows everything. You dumb people, you dumb Americans don't know how Putin thinks. Putin's not going to start a war. He's just pretending. And if you all saw the video, he removed the video because he looked like a fucking idiot. Okay. After the war began, after Russia invaded Ukraine, guess what? You don't see the picture of Putin in the background anymore. Now, anybody else notice that? Probably not. If you're not noticing these things, then, you know, you're going to get fucked. You're going to get fucked. It's very simple things to notice. But let me show you now another here. Take a look at this. You see that? You see him wear this shirt again? Take a look at the date. September 18, 2021. He's Mr. CCCP, right? Of course, that's the former Soviet Union. But he won't wear it, you know, he won't talk about Russia anymore. This is the type of deceptive piece of trash you're dealing with, folks. These people, they are the same. They are the same ilk. They're the same character. Absolute subhuman, parasitic scumbags. They are dangerous to society. They are absolute pathological liars and sociopaths. And I believe they belong in prison. If I was running the show, these guys would be in jail. This is after the FTX and all the debacle.
very important
What's Tom have to
warning.
say?
Now look, I'm on my way to the gym. I wasn't even planning to do this video, but
Yeah.
I'm very worried from what
you've never been to the fucking gym a day in your life. You're soft as a typical Israeli soldier.
I see, and I don't want to see people get hurt. Look, this isn't financial advice. Do your own research. You have to do the work yourself. You can't rely on YouTube videos for any investment decisions. You know this better. I'm not a financial advisor. Just a guy with an opinion. Might be wrong, might be inaccurate, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So take it with a grain of salt.
So here you have Tom. Now he's saying he's just a guy on the internet. Before, he was a 10-year-plus veteran, Wall Street analyst at a top 4 Wall Street firm. You notice, folks? You notice the turnaround now, the flip-flop, all these disclaimers. You see that, folks? Because he's getting sued. And I want to encourage everyone to sue this fucking lying scumbag. He's a fraud. He misstated his credentials. Tom Nash, you never worked as a Wall Street analyst. You're a fucking liar. You claimed that you did for a very, very long time. You did not. You're a liar. You lied about just about every single one of your the points in your credentials. You lied about it. You didn't get an MBA from University of Michigan. You didn't get a law degree from University of Michigan. You lied to these people, these suckers that listen to you. And you cost them a lot of money. You're a fraud. You need to be held accountable. You scumbag. Folks, notice how he's just a guy on YouTube now. Oh, don't disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. And look at this bullshit he added here. This wasn't on his videos before. You see this? You don't accept liability? No. Well, you've got liability, buddy. Folks, you lost money. Listen to this piece of garbage who lied about his credentials. Contact an attorney. Sue his ass.
He makes one video. One video. This should be at the beginning and at the end of each of his videos. Okay? The beginning and end each of his videos. And even still, I mean, this is a guy, he's just a guy on the internet. Don't listen to him. But sign up for his Patreon. And if you want, you can pay him $1,500 per month for one-on-one advice. Think about that. What a fucking fraud. What a piece of trash.
health. So while we're on the topic of crypto, if you're looking for a place to buy, sell, track, or trade both crypto and NFTs all in one place with fees that are up to 85% lower than the top competitors, then FTX US is there to help. They're trusted by millions of users, and what I like the most about them is that they allow you to set up an automatic recurring buy so that you can dollar cost average into the markets on a regular basis. So if you're interested, the link is down below in the description with the code GRAHAM, and you could get all the way up to $100 for signing up depending on how much you trade.